as we started kind of further integrating our lives, you just kind of started to feel the things weren't really working in the way that you wanted them to. And real life kind of comes up and sneaks up on you a little bit.
So Nick, how are you doing? I know that the past few weeks, months haven't been the best, but how are you feeling right now?
We're still going through it. I'm doing okay. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say, oh, it's easy or I'm doing great, but I'm doing okay. You know, like losing a relationship that was so meaningful and with someone that you deeply love and care for is never going to be easy. We've all probably gone through some sort of heartbreak like that, but I'm working through my natural process.
Like you said, so many people obviously deal with breakups and things like that, but so many people don't do it in the public eye. How hard has that been for you?
Being in the public eye, you know, it's an additional layer to navigate, one that I don't really have any experience doing, obviously. But you know, what the hardest parts is just there's a lot of, you know, public commentary or public criticism on your relationship, which is based on, I don't know, maybe 2 total hours that they've seen of your life and this case, our marriage. And then, you know, having the social media presence helps, but you know, no one goes on social media and shares their challenges, you know, regularly, which is something I'm trying to do a little bit more of now, getting through this process because it's almost therapeutic. But you know, being scrutinized and you know, name calling and the keyboard warriors, you know, it's all hard. So it's been difficult. It's an added layer, like I said, and you know, and you see anyone forming opinions of you or forming opinions of your relationship in this way when the reality is they don't have any perspective or insights into, you know, what the day-to-day was or what the relationship was like. And, you know, it's tough, but I get it. People get caught up and, you know, going on Love is Blind or and putting yourself in front of the public in any way is going to open that up.
Definitely.
But, you know,
I know that you guys celebrated your first anniversary. I think it was back in June, but when did you realize that maybe something was going wrong?
That's a good question. I feel like what kind of happened to us is everyone saw the show, right? You know, we clicked right away. There wasn't a lot of, I don't know how to say, there wasn't a lot of other people involved, let's say, in our relationship. And so I think what happened was as we moved forward and we started integrating our lives together, you start to see sort of some cracks that you don't see based on the way that we met. So from my perspective, like there were little things. And then, you know, as you integrate your life, you go from this entire situation where you are kind of scheduled. You get to have these private time, of course, and you know, we were still building our connection, but you go from being completely scheduled to kind of being out in the world to fend for yourself. You know, we left and then 7 weeks later we came back, you know, and we're married and now we're integrating friends and we're integrating family. And so there's like a lot of things you would have already done before getting married. So I think we had a lot of time focusing on duplicating the things that were working for us, doing things that we would have done if we were dating. But, you know, as we started kind of further integrating our lives, you just kind of started to feel the things weren't really working in the way that you wanted them to. And real life kind of comes up and sneaks up on you a little bit.
Right. I think she said that it came down to personality compatibility differences. Is that, I mean, what exactly does that mean? And do you agree with that?
So what I would say is it's a good question. So there are personality differences. Sure. Everybody has them. I'm, you know, more of an introvert, she's an extrovert. Like we kind of found a nice equal medium in some of those things. But what I would say what it came down to is we weren't more so the kind of partner that each other needed to feel supported, to feel comfortable, and really to have that partnership that just takes you through the rest of your life. And at least from my perspective, you know, there were going to be, of course, personality conflicts. Everyone has them. I have them with everyone in my life. You have them with everyone in your life. Yeah.
Was that something that you worked on throughout your relationship? I believe you both were pretty open about, you know, going to therapy and really trying to make this marriage work.
Yeah. I mean, I have been in therapy, I think off and on, but consistently through 2016. And I know Danielle, similarly off and on. I don't know exactly her schedule, but we did do couples counseling, and it helped us in a lot of ways. It helped us navigating through some of the conflicts that would arise. And of course they're going to arise considering the way that we met. But, I think ultimately what happened was these conflicts weren't so much about little things like dancing on tables or costume parties. Like, as a matter of fact, I'm having a party, a chili bowl cook-off this weekend where I'm hosting my friends and family. We're going to play football, so it's like, it's that stuff. It's not that. And there wasn't a big, like, catastrophic event either. So it was just over time, like, these things started building up. And I think, I don't want to speak for her, but I know I wasn't feeling like I was getting the partnership I needed to be successful, and to kind of move forward with the relationship.
Yeah. So was this a mutual decision? You guys kind of sat down together and realized that you were better off separating, or was one trying to, like, hold on a little bit longer?
I think ultimately we both knew, it was, as things got a little more clear as we were moving through the summer, and, we took some steps to try and, salvage the relationship. And, I just want to be clear, like, I don't have any ill will. Like, I think, we're all just doing the best we can and trying to find someone that we can do that with. But I feel like it just started to kind of be overwhelmingly clear that our relationship wasn't what either of us needed it to be. But I know I can speak for myself and say it wasn't what I needed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, after The Altar aired, what was your relationship like at that point?
After The Altar, we had already filed for divorce. So I feel like, we were talking as needed. There was some communication. We got together kind of accidentally in person right around that time, maybe a little bit before that, and had a nice discussion and, a calming sort of closure, it felt like, at the time. And, it's as needed, but this is tough. Like, this whole thing is fluid. And, I know I am doing everything I can to learn from it, take my learnings, and move forward.
Right. I believe, like you said, that you were, I think you posted something that you were working through your feelings of anxiety and depression. I mean, how are you coping with that now? And did the show kind of amplify that a little bit, or was it the breakup? Kind of, how are you feeling right now? I'm, like I said at the beginning, like, I'm okay. I'm working through it. Grieving is not linear. And anyone who tells you that is, like 200 years ago or however long I think we've had the grieving process since the 70s, but, yeah.
It's not linear. So some days are better than others. It's tough when you go through this, but I've, been thrusted into this world of recognition and a level of fame. And, as I mentioned earlier, all eyes on us, and you really kind of learn, like, who your friends are. You really learn, who's here to support you, who's here to ask what you need. And then, who's here to get the tea or the gossip on the relationship. And, even navigating that is tough, but I have a good, strong support system. I'm very confident in myself too. So, feelings of angst and anxiety and, feeling depressed, I'm losing a relationship with someone I thought I was going to spend my life with. So yeah, it's difficult. Some days are better than others, and I'm not going to lie and tell you anything different.
Right. No, of course. Like you said, I mean, you're grieving a relationship. This is somebody that, like you said, you expected to spend the rest of your life with. Shortly after you posted that message about your mental health, Danielle did post another message with kind of like a cryptic undertone saying, "Don't let anyone, especially a partner, make you feel inadequate." Did you feel like that was a dig towards you?
Well, yes. And I think the sad thing about all of this is that, there wasn't a catastrophic event, which I think I said, despite what you may read online or on social media, and we just weren't compatible. But I think that it's, I know in my heart that I did absolutely the best I possibly could in that relationship. And I gave it everything that I had. And that, I think, proves to my point that it wasn't what she needed. And I think it's kind of, it's tough. This is tough. I think it's unfortunate that you have to disparage or, stay stuck in this place. And I know she's hurt. I'm hurt too. But that's why, for my own mental health and healing, I had to create a boundary with her that I'm not engaging anymore. And I'm choosing to leave the past behind me, focusing on all the stuff I have going on. And, I don't want to live in the past. I don't want to be in any kind of position where I have to defend myself, which, I feel sometimes like I should, but, I don't want to have to prove a false statement or, make comments like that, because some of it should just be private. But I try to remember my story doesn't need to be heard. People are going to choose what they want to believe anyway. And I guess I just hope that she and really everyone from the cast finds like an inner peace and is able to move forward and in a healthy way.
Yeah. Were you surprised by that? Because, I know in the beginning you both wanted this to be an amicable, civil, how you're dealing with this. But so were you surprised that things kind of turned a little bit ugly in the press? I mean, I think that she said that like you were planning an Instagram live to talk some shit about her. I mean, were you surprised it kind of took a turn?
Yes and no. I know that hurt people. And I know that this is really hard. It's hard for her. I know it's hard for her. It's hard for me. And I feel for her, and my heart hurts when I see that stuff, because I don't know who said I was going to do an Instagram. Like, if you follow me on social media, I don't talk about the show. I don't talk about the cast. All I'm talking about is things that matter to me and my journey, because I hope that maybe someone can learn something from it, or I can help someone in their moment by seeing me go through mine. So that's kind of what I'm trying to work on. And it's unfortunate that happened. And it's unfortunate to kind of be in this predicament, but we are. And, I'm just going to continue to focus on myself, try to not let this get me, and just be the best version of myself, and not get dragged into, he said, she said, or any unhealthy space.
Or had the two of you spoken, or are you just giving each other some space?
There is some legal stuff, but I have, as I said, I've opted to set the boundary that it's not healthy for me right now to engage and communicate.
Yeah, definitely. How has the cast been there for you, or did you feel like people had to like choose sides in the split? Did you feel like that at all?
I feel like sides were chosen. I don't think they necessarily needed to be, but they were. And that's why I'm focusing on, okay, I know who my friends are. They're here for me every day. I have an amazing like fan support on my social media, where I get like people checking in on me. How you doing today? Just checking in. And it's funny because like, I always look at it and I'm like, okay, you watch someone on reality TV and like, then I'm kind of done. And I don't even really watch that much reality TV, but to have people that have never met me and just see me for who I am, and that I'm doing the best I can, and that I'm struggling, reach out just to check in, is very heartwarming, on top of having an amazing support group of family and friends as well. Definitely.
I know Ayanna and Jared are going through a similar situation as well. Have you spoken to Jared? Has he been there for you? Have you guys kind of bonded in a different way?
I actually have not talked to anyone or heard from anyone on the cast except Shane, who reached out when the divorce leaked. But I did send Jared and Ayanna. I sent Jared a text, I think, and I DM'd Ayanna, sending them support and letting them know that if they need anything, I'm here for them.
Were you surprised that nobody else reached out?
At first it hurt a little bit, because I felt like we were having sides and I didn't think that was necessary. I'm not really a who's right, who's wrong kind of person. I'm like, everybody has their perspective. Let's just all respect each other. But it's okay, because everyone's entitled to their own opinions and actions, and everyone has their own things going on. So it was a little hurtful, but I don't hold any grudges. It's fine. We are all, whether close right now or not, we are all like in this experience together. And we're always going to have sort of that bond. And so I truly want what's best for everybody that I met over there on this experience. And I can't think of I mean, I can't think of any other way to put it. I just hope everybody heals, finds their inner peace, finds their path forward. And, they can do that however they need to do that.
Yeah. I don't even know if you're even in the headspace yet, but are you thinking about dating again? Is that something that you're even contemplating?
Dating seems like the furthest possible thing from my mind right now. I honestly, I don't even know where to start. So I think it's something that I'm just going to keep moving forward and then let it come to me when the time is right.
Yeah. Do you want to still get married again down the line? Like, is that something that's, are you still that hopeful romantic and still want to have that fairy tale ending?
I would love to find a healthy relationship that you have those kinds of discussions and make those decisions together.
Yeah. Do you ever regret going on the show? Do you regret how quickly this process moved? And, if you got the opportunity, would you do it again?
So that's such a tough question to answer. I'm grateful for the experience for a number of reasons. One, I met some really interesting people. I got to go through a very unique experience that I never would have dreamed of and never would have thought would be possible. I've been given a platform in a sense to now shift focus on the things that matter to me, because a lot of people look at reality TV personalities or public figures and they lose track of like the human element and realize that there's a human being behind that person that you saw 2 hours or whatever long time of television of them. And I think now that I've gone through this experience, I've gone through a lot of scrutiny. I have found a good path to talk about all of the other things about Nick Thompson that nobody knows about, the things that I like text about with my friends, the things that I do in my free time. And sometimes I'm not as good as documenting these things, but I'm learning as I go. People want to know when you're doing stuff. So it's interesting. But, I think from that aspect, I'm excited, and I'm excited to really grow from it, because I can transparently say I kind of thought I had it figured out. And then you add some of the elements of going on a reality show and getting married in that, the manner that you did, and then ultimately having the relationship not work out, which is sad. But, I think I'm going to come out a much better person for this.
Definitely. Would you do it again?
What I do, I would probably... Do I have this knowledge or?
Yes, you do. You have the knowledge.
I don't know if I would do this experiment again, but I'd be open to trying some other ones. And then, I've got something pretty fun in the pipeline that I'm excited about too. Can't share it yet, but yeah.
Right. And like you said, you're using your platform to connect to people in a different way. So what kind of misconceptions about yourself are you hoping to clear up? What are you hoping to use your platform for? I mean, what's your outreach? What do you want to do?
It's a really, really thoughtful question, and I appreciate you asking it too. I am a huge advocate of self-care. So number one, I really want to share my journey, which is hard for me because traditionally I've been someone that keeps it all in. But I'm kind of stepping out of my comfort zone and sharing a lot of these experiences and feelings that I'm having and how I'm dealing with them with the community. I don't know if that's the right word, but with my fans and followers and friends. And, I have implemented new structure, because structure is key to my mental health, being successful. And so I've added new things into my structure. I'm learning new tools and new rituals that I'm doing. And I'm happy to share those, because I think that the feedback I get is that, hey, this is really helping me, or I needed this today. And it's like, hey, me too. That's why I'm doing it. So let's bond over that. I also, I joked and said, being on Love is Blind is like the 5,000th most important thing about me, and was recently asked, what's it like being famous for your relationship instead of you? And so I took that and internalized it, and you know what? I am going to share about me, and the people that are here for it, great. So we're going to talk about self-care together. I'm going to remove stigmas around mental health, around overall health and wellness, various other topics like news and politics, and just have dialogue-driven conversations about these things that are important, which is even why I launched my podcast with that goal as well.
I think that's great. I think that's awesome. Well, Nick, thank you so much. I really appreciate your honesty, your candidness. I know this wasn't an easy conversation, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
For more news content and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below and visit usmagazine.com.